So, to start off, Elle and I together are going to be doing a complete recap of the previous season. And let's see here. We started off, you had traveled to Alrune to deal with a madman named Zolgoth, a serial killer who had apparently decided to start leaving bodies around again in Kalrune. And can't exactly remember where we started off on that one.
I do. We picked up immediately after the cliffhanger from the previous season with Bastille and several others having chased after Zolgoth towards the Magi Guard headquarters, while Soma and our new friend Andrevan, a swashbuckler new to the Hidden Archives, chased after Kauai and Ira, who had run into some kind of strange possession troubles back at the ranch. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Ira had run off, and Kauai was looking for her. And Bastille and the others, and I think it was Frederick, and I don't remember who else was there. It was certainly Bastille and Frederick. Were chasing after Zolgoth and encountered him outside of the Magi Guard headquarters, where Bastille questioned him about what he was looking for with the book that he had stolen from some central location previously. And he claimed that he didn't want anything with the book, but his masters did. They were coming. They were already here. And Bastille and Zolgoth said, "Darkness is coming, chaos is encroaching, and you are all going to die." And then something clicked, and Bastille was found hours later with Ryzen and Esther, awoken, slumped against the wall with no memory of how they got there, and Bastille's recorder was damaged. Back at the Hidden Archives, or back at the ranch, Ira, Kauai, Andrevan, and Soma had traced Ira to a cliffside, where she was trying to basically end her life because she believed that she was possessed and was going to hurt everybody. With a confrontation combining Kauai and Ira's mother, Luna, who appeared, Kauai and Ira got engaged, and Ira was coaxed down from the cliff. Jumping ahead, we looked into some of the things that Zolgoth had mentioned that Bastille and the others remembered, specifically the Black Aegis, which we learned had to do with the Artifact War. And the Black Aegis was one of the few of the ancient artifacts that had not been stolen and spread around after being locked up in the Magi Guard's vault. The next case that we found after losing track of Zolgoth was the case of the Watcher, a creepy stalker following a family in Emerald Port that had been stalked for years by this entity. From their old house to their new house. So we tracked them there, where we followed up with them, and were attacked by a bunch of cultists. Meanwhile, Crystal and Skinny found a girl, Amiris, who was a scion, who was able to use painting to focus her psionic abilities, and had painted a bunch of paintings of things that she couldn't possibly have known. In the fight with the cult, with the Scions of the Void, who are led by Zolgoth, but Zolgoth wasn't there, Crystal's Magvor was killed.
Unfortunately, it was a very sad day, and Crystal, she kind of went nuts. Understandably, she was in total grief. And so was I at the end of the year.
Yeah. we had found some bones in the wall of the house and a note that told us or Crystal had sent us a note via Magvor that the bones in the wall that we found belonged to Zolgoth's first victim. They were the bones of a young woman who we learned was named we learned her name Deirdre. There we go. Who we learned was named Deirdre. We spoke with her bones, and she said
the
that
name
Zolgoth...
the name of the girl whose bones were on the wall was not Deirdre. It was
Kyrus. Sorry, Deirdre's bone. That was a different. It wasn't Deirdre. Deirdre is the ghost. Okay. Sorry. No, Daphne's the ghost. Who's Deirdre?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, I invented a character named Deirdre. Edit this out.
No, don't. Leave it in.
I will definitely edit. I will definitely keep it in.
Ghostar is Daphne. Deirdre is somebody else. The bones we found in the wall were those of a Quatrican girl named Kyrus, who was Zolgoth's childhood friend, and had gifted him a skeleton, which was what had the Mystimon that had evolved into the Skulldoom that he attacked us with. Sorry, I'm skipping some things because I don't want to get into too much detail here. Skipping ahead from that, we did learn that Zolgoth was raised by a man named Henry Corbett, who killed Kyrus and stuffed her remains in the wall and then brainwashed Zolgoth to believe that he had murdered her. The Skulldoom is Zolgoth's weakness, and we learned that probably the only way through to him is Kyrus. We met Dr. Lorena Gray, a tall woman with long black hair who has been having a really bad year on many, many levels. And she is trying to figure out where her grandfather is, if he's still alive, and what led to him disappearing, because he was doing research into void terrors and the ancient ones before he disappeared. She started experimenting with eldritch rituals on the ranch and eldritch runes, and it was when she was. Well. The first time, all she did was make an explosion, which is where we met Rat, our cowboy Goblurin gunslinger, who arrived with his buddy Duty after hearing about some strange occurrences in the Dark Vault Cavern. Rat discovered that there... What?
Oh, sorry.
What were you saying?
I was saying, please don't mention the incident.
It has to be mentioned. It has to be mentioned. There was an incident on the ranch where Rat fired a gun at a rock. The bullet ricocheted and it hit his friend Ron in the arse.
So right on target, honestly.
Sorry, it had to be mentioned. Go on, Elle.
Lorena Gray, we found a strange portal into a hidden temple underwater that Lorena Gray had discovered earlier. Alien ruins found on the bottom of the Depthara Trench, covered in hieroglyphs that are the same as those on the dagger and this pyramid that we learned was buried somewhere on the ranch and contained the essence in some way of this monstrous entity known as Hydora, which was, accidentally released later. Around that time,
or at least
an aspect of it, Rat discovered that our good buddy Bastille is just chock-a-block, wall-to-wall, full of ghosts.
Like a clown
one
car
way to put
ghost
it.
in there. Ghost salesman came by, slapped the hood of Bastille, and said, "This baby can fit so many ghosts in him."
Go on, Elle.
We found some paintings from the auction house that would help triangulate the location of the Black Aegis. At this point, we had also met Cole. I'm gonna toss this over to you, Binary, for his full name.
Ultramanir Sirixilfer.
There we go. AKA Cole. And we
Oh, sorry. I
learned
forget
some
it cuts
things
off.
about the dragon.
Cold Drominier Zorix of Olonese.
Oh, right.
It gets cut off in Path on the Foundry. My apologies.
Because it's just too long.
It is. You can blame Seth. He told me make a long name, and I said I bet.
I said make it complex. You decided make it long.
They are one and the same.
Is that not the same thing?
Okay.
More or less.
Go on, Elle.
Let me skip forward. We learned some things about the Dragon Lords, examining the portraits, and then we're led into a strange chamber through, I don't actually remember how we get this. Oh, some underground ruins through to Ruby Port. We found some underground ruins where Soma learned that she was meant to be the Guardian of Wind, but can't access those powers at this time. Zolgoth appeared and attempted. Only the bad parts. Zolgoth appeared and tried to prevent us from getting to this map that was located at the center of these ruins. But we managed to outwit him to a certain extent, and Bastille was able to commit the map in the hologram to memory. Then it was time for the championship games. Ada and Soma have been, over time, strengthening the wards back at the ranch. This is very important to commit to canon. And in Emerald Port, in Evergreen City, we met Sarah Arenell, is that her name? And Floor, and her wife, Floor, what's Floor's last name?
Do you mind
Floor
if I
Aurora.
interject for just a
Yes,
moment?
please.
So when we had seen the map, we were on a rabid hunt for this tablet. I forget all of the connotations of it, but Bastille did also find that tablet, in which they've managed to keep secret from Zolgoth thus far.
Yes, excellent.
I do feel like that's an important add-on because of what importance the tablet has.
Thank you. I love it. And Zolgoth was chasing after Soma, who used Deceiver's cloak to transform into Kairos, which he's been doing a lot just to try and get under his skin as much as possible.
Skin.
We in Evergreen City at the championship games, we have met Sarah Arian's cousin, Aranel Arian, with whom she has very bad blood. And we also met a council, a person running for a council position, Lady Fiore, who then disappeared in a very unsettling way. And so at the championship games, we have been looking for Lady Fiore, tracking her down. Rat has managed to save the life of an anti-goblin politician who learned absolutely nothing from that experience.
Yes, absolutely nothing.
We have met a host of characters, including Rasha Bardine, who is a Sunelvan spy, and several other characters who have helped us investigate multiple cases, many of which were investigated by the Hidden Archives before, including a girl who was kidnapped and disappeared into the Primal Wood, whose brother has been trying to get people to go after her. I'm going to stop here and let other people, because this has brought us to about late last fall. And I actually want to toss it over to Rat, because I do feel to Shadow, to narrate, because I do feel like there has been quite a lot of important plot developments centering around Rat.
Okay. So, during the Gobloran politician event, after like I think a day or so that happened, a lot of hate crimes on Goblorans happened, and a couple of Goblorans were found out to be out in the woods. So Rat took a couple of his buddies out there, try to save them, brought them back, and then turns out that Goblorans said something like, "Oh, the Yellow King, he's coming!" And
The
then
Yellow King is coming! The Yellow King is coming!
Thank you. Yeah, they were saying that, and Rat thought that it was a good idea to do a charming little lie in order to get them to calm down. He was like, I'm actually the commander of the Yellow King. Just calm down your bloodthirst, and we'll figure this out." And then as soon as he walks outside of the little hideout they're in, got jump scared by a little fellow in a yellow cloak. The yellow cloak fellow said something akin to, "Why do you call yourself the commander of the Yellow King?" And Rat, being the ever-charming liar he is, he's like, "Well, that's because I am the commander of the Yellow King. I'm his right-hand man, yeah." And then the yellow...
quote-unquote idiot.
Yeah. It was a smart idea at the time, but then again, actions have consequences. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
All actions have consequences.
And then this yellow-robed individual said, and then nodded, and then just left. Then Rat got marked. Turns out that mark is of Hastor, and now Rat is constantly seeing the Yellow King's apparition. He is not going crazy. He is a perfectly sane individual.
In his eyes, he is. Yeah, when we last left our investigators, Soba had uncovered some pieces of Guoi's past. And that brought the party to investigating the Niven, a ship that was docked at Evergreen City that had actually been built with some of the remnants of the ship that Guoi was on when it capsized, when it sunk. And that led us to finding out all about Guoi's past. As it would turn out, Guoi was actually born on, let me see if I can actually find it. Guoi was born on the 12th of Kiloron 2721. That's her birthday. And her mother's name was Anella, and her father's name was Hermie. And they had left on that fateful that fateful voyage across the seas when Guoi was 7 years old. And it would turn out that Guoi was, as a naive little girl at that age, she was manipulated by a man who made her think that he was her friend. And she started the fire that sunk that ship because she was manipulated by this psychopath who had turned out to be Zolgoth. And I have a cat that is literally climbing the walls. So, Elle, do you want to finish off this recap?
Yeah, we had also encountered Zolgoth, several of Zolgoth's projection clones, that we were then able to track the traces of him back towards the Primal Woods, learning that Zolgoth's actual central body is probably, basically, exactly where the Primal Witch lives, in the Primal Wood. And at the same time, or, along with all of this, Crystal managed to bond with Flamdrone. Drone. Flam Drone. Sorry. And we managed to connect Kauai back with her ghostly mother. And then there was another murder.
Another
murder. And we launched the first season of the wildly successful police procedural Rasha Bardeen is on the Scene. Diana Reese, an old character from previous seasons, showed up because she needs Crystal's help. RNL's coach was murdered, and RNL is a suspect. But we don't really think that Zolgoth is a suspect because the coach was killed via blunt force trauma, like some kind of giant club. And Willow was able to identify that within the pool of blood, there was these tiny dried leaves that leave a yellow residue and are an Olympian poison oak nightshade, which can be brewed into a poisonous tree. And have a particularly potent cross reaction with coffee that creates a lethal poisonous vapor. So we tracked down, we also found a note in Golan clutched in this guy's hand, and something about a Valum drone, which is a crystalline device invented at Everglade College. We found some coffee shops and found some tea that had been messed with, and talking to Fleur, we did learn that the Valum drone is a device that can teleport consciousness into the dreamlands, and with modifications, could teleport the body as well. And Shadow had this theory, which I am in full agreement with, I think, is that Zolgoth is using the Valum drone for something. But here is one, we've been spending all of this time chasing down shadow gates, thinking that that was what was used to yoink Lady Fiore into the Dreamlands, when here is another possibility, especially considering that Zolgoth is a dreamwalker just like Kauai.